This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura Integra. $229 a month. It's the season of performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It's game day at Toyota of Hollywood. Our all-stars are here to give you our MVP experience. Join the fun and feast on discounts up to $4,500. Huddle up and score big on a 25 Corolla. Not $26,000, $17,988. It's a tailgate party you don't want to miss. So gobble up the savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, Sam, not again.
Initiating Daddy's back.
Go!
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink. Be the maestro of your own home.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Price, service, selection. Get all this and more at South Florida's #1 loved Subaru store. Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Save today with our 3 ways to save. 0% financing, 0 down payment, or make no payments for 90 days. From Subaru of Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura ADX. $239 a month. It's the season of performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
morning, boys and girls. Time to rock and roll here on the show. All right. We got it right now. Didn't have the damn mic open. Sean and I tend to do those things. We kind of forget that you need the mic open in order to work. Good morning to you, Sean Stanley. Thank you, sir, as always. Welcome all on a beautiful Thursday, January 8th, 2026. It is day number 18,984 since the Miami Dolphins were world champions. It is day number 8,767 since the Canes were national champions. So, see if we can reset that clock. We'll find out tonight if we're a week away from resetting that clock, which is a beautiful thing. Anyway, so lots of stuff to talk about. The Dolphins are doing their thing, whatever it's called. And by the way, for who was it? Was it Oscar? Big O, your boy Josh is still alive. It's not my boy. Okay, understand what I did. It's not my boy. Yeah, I just told you who I think is going to get the job. It's none of this is my boy. Okay, as Furones had in his tweet today, that the Dolphins are moving quickly, and because they're down to their final two candidates, and I said to Furones, I said, the Dolphins don't move quickly. The Dolphins move poorly. Okay? Not quickly, poorly. All right? There's nothing good about what's going on. But anyway, it is what it is. We'll see how it all turns out. Who knows, man? Maybe some wacky ass shit happens, like Harbaugh or something. Again, I'm not going to gaslight you people on this. This has, to me, look, on the Harbaugh situation, okay, Miami has no chance. He's 63. They got cap hell. They've got no QB. They've got a dysfunctional situation. They've got a coach in place. He's not coming here. Now, because of his relationship with his brother, could I see Jim and John having a conversation like, yeah, no, Miami's interested? And could I see him coming in for an interview? No, because you have a coach in place. It would be so awkward. So, the only thing I can see where Jim and John have a conversation and say, let him down lightly. Because what I think is happening right now is Harbaugh and his agent, once he parted ways with Baltimore, he got all the calls in from all the teams that are interested. So now he and his agent are sitting down now and relaxing because none of those teams are going to make pretty much a move until he says something. So I would imagine in the next 72 hours, today, tomorrow, the next day, his agent will be calling the teams that they're not interested in. And then he'll focus on just the teams and go visit them next week. I just have a hard time believing he's going to come here. I just do. It makes zero sense whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? But hey, listen, man, if lazy media wants to try to gaslight you and all that, but you just got to use common sense. Why would he come here? And by the way, Isaiah Smalls from the Herald, props to you, young man. Is, instead of using it as clickbait and all that shit, he actually wrote an article that, brought out the points that we brought out. It makes no sense for him to come here at all. Okay? Just makes no sense. It would be a disaster for him to come here at this age. If he was 53 and he has a bit of a rebuild ahead of him, yeah, I could see him maybe trying it or whatever. But right now, he's going to go somewhere where they have a QB, man. Somewhere where they don't have cap problems. Somewhere where they don't have a coach in place and they don't have dysfunction. And, or at least this bad of dysfunction, because a lot of the teams do have some dysfunction. But Yeah, I just don't see that. You know what I mean? It just makes no sense. And it's cute, the whole Chad Alexander shit. It's cute, but they've kept him around and they added him late and then added him in the second round because they haven't heard from John yet. You know, it's silliness that we're playing this game. So, I would love to. By the way, today the Dolphins in person will talk to Sullivan, John Eric Sullivan, the Green Bay Packers VP. By the way, 3 names. Is he a serial killer on his off time? I mean, these people with 3 names, it's. But anyway, I'm joking. Relax. And Chad Alexander will be interviewing today. Okay, in person. This is the second wave of the whole thing. So Champ and Josh Williams will be the second wave. And again, none of this is my boy. All right. I told you guys how I would have handled this last week, and it's there. There's a rant. You can check it out, how I would handle this whole coaching GM stuff. You could check it out. I already talked about it, how I would handle it, which is a hell of a lot different than the way these clowns are handling all of this, because they mishandle everything, because that's kind of the way it goes, But what are you going to do? By the way, the Canes favored by 3.5. The Canes are minus 175 on the money line. Over and unders 52.5. And Ole Miss is plus 145. I like the Canes today. I think they will win because they have dominated at the line of scrimmage. And that's something that I've been talking about with the Dolphins forever. And the Canes lost it for a long time. And Mario has finally brought it back. And that's where I think they end up winning this game. This is where I think they corral the quarterback and kind of keep him in check. And don't let him get too crazy out there. And in the end, I think the running game for the Canes is going to dominate. I think that the offensive line for the Canes will be able to push those guys around a bit. And I also think that this is the worst secondary that Carson Beck is facing so far in the playoffs. So I think he'll have more success than he did against the first 2 opponents because they were better, And as, like our friend Oscar was, I'm so concerned about Trinidad and Ole Miss. Well, you should be concerned about Georgia, too, if it advanced. I would be concerned about either of them. But I just think that Miami is built in the trenches to win this game. And let me give you guys another thing that I'm impressed with the University of Miami. And I think that Mario Cristobal has handled this beautifully. They're not all over the portal, dude. Their names are not all over the portal. They're not creating any kind of a mess about this player coming in and all that kind of stuff. They've kind of let the portal kind of take a back seat, and they've put the playoffs in the priority. And I think that's that distraction, and he talks about rat poison and all that kind of stuff. And if you're out there loud in the portal at this point in time, that's why I told you guys yesterday, because I've had the Canes fans reach out to me in panic. Oh, they haven't signed a quarterback. And I'm like, bro, look at how they're building things now. I would love to get Sam Levitt, who's visiting Tennessee. But they don't really need Sam Levitt, actually. They just need a smart, accurate quarterback. They don't need a superstar. They don't need a guy that has to carry you or anything like Cam Ward. It's nice if you could get him, but if that player wants to get that money right away and you've got to take care of business right now, I think you'll find yourself a quarterback that can facilitate. Plus, Luke Nickel is going to enter his second year. I think in a perfect world, they want Luke Nickel to sit 1 more year, so that way they have him for 2 years starting, and he can kind of, really take off. But who knows? Maybe Luke Nickel gets elevated. We'll see. I don't know. That's a little bit of a stretch. I don't know enough. I know the kid is a hell of a prospect, but I don't know enough of where his progress is. And so I think they're just trying to buy time for Luke Nickel. But, I'm not worried about quarterback. I wouldn't be worried. And I think it's marvelous what Mario has done by not creating that distraction in the middle of your playoffs. Okay, this is the most important thing that goes. It's who was it? Deion Sanders. I saw the other day how he was talking about how kids in college now are chasing the money in the portal, and I tell them, you chase greatness. When you chase greatness, the money will follow. Which is, he's actually 100% right on that, and so. It's just one of those kind of things, you're chasing greatness. You beat Ole Miss tonight, and then you're playing for the national championship against Oregon or Indiana. Screw the portal, dude. You are the portal. You will have people lined up wanting to play for you because you're one of the elite programs in the country again. And so you're back to winning, and you're back to producing players that go to the NFL because you have them already. And they went last year, and now you're going to have even a bigger wave this year, and you'll continue to have bigger waves because you got to chase the greatness. With the greatness, the money comes. And in the Canes case, the greatness, the great recruits come. So, it's just one of those things. I think Mario's doing that right. Very good, okay, because other teams are, are in the portal and all that kind of stuff, and they have chosen to go another way. So I have to commend Mario on handling that. That is really good, limiting that distraction. I think that's pretty awesome. All right. What else do we have going on? We got a bunch of stuff to talk about on the program. By the way, tomorrow we're going to be at Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines. Be hanging out there with Larry Schlossberg. They've got the customer appreciation sales event going on right now. The number one Acura dealer in the USA is, of course, Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. The Integra, this is ridiculous. Well, they're built here in the U.S., so you save yourself money. $239 a month, 2.9% financing for 60 months. So the financing numbers are amazing. The payments a month are amazing. The ADX, beautiful vehicle. I think this is the second year of the vehicle or third year. $239 a month, 1.9% financing for 60 months. The RDX, my wife drives it every day, $369 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. And the TLX, baby, $389 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. They've got some great deals. They've also got certified pre-owned vehicles. That lot is always overflowing, and that is a benefit to you because now you get a larger selection. You get to pick the car you want, the color you want, the style you want, the model you want, but more importantly, the price you want. So go see Larry Schlossberg and all the great people out there at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. All right. Tonight, we will be back, post-game show. So we will, I'm not going to do a pregame. This is kind of the pregame, basically, This is kind of the pregame, So we'll be back for the postgame. Manny Navarro is there live. He'll join us, all kinds of stuff. I'm going to see if I could come up with anything else. We'll have a little fun, and then tomorrow we'll be at Acura Pembroke Pines, and we wrap up the week, and we have the weekend off. I am looking forward to it. Can't wait for the weekend. It's just me and the wife in the house. Everybody's leaving. People are going out of town, so we're going to be all alone. It's going to be a lot of fun in the house this weekend. So I am looking forward to a nice, relaxing weekend. So that is putting a smile on my face. Anyway, what else do we have to talk about in the world of sports? Let's get to our 3A graphics. sports calendar, the one and only Alan Blanco. As we told you, the Dolphins in person today. John Eric Sullivan, the Green Bay VP, and Chad Alexander, the assistant GM of the Chargers. They will be interviewing with the Miami Dolphins. Anthony Weaver is set to interview with the Ravens. He will interview with the Cardinals on Friday and the Falcons on Saturday. Harbaugh is been approached by, they say, 7, 9 teams, who knows, a bunch of teams, including the Dolphins. Some people say no. Either way, I don't think they have a chance, but it is what it is. Last night, Trae Young, with that bad hair, got traded to the Washington Wizards. Atlanta will get C.J. McCollum and forward Corey Kispert. Tonight on the ice, the Panthers will take on Montreal on the road. Panthers minus 130 on the money line, Montreal plus 110. The Heat at 8 o'clock are on the road to take on Les Bulls. And Miami is favored by 7. The over and under is 238.5. Miami minus 275 on the money line. The Bulls are plus 200. Friday, it'll be at 7:30. Number 5 Oregon taking on number 1 Indiana. Indiana favored by 3.5. The over and under is 48.5. Oregon plus 150. Indiana minus 180. Fort Lauderdale United, they are off till January 31st. That's when they will take on Lexington SC. There at Beyond Bank Card Field. You can get your season tickets at ftlutd.com. All right. And I'll see you there. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. What else do we have? Ravens have requested an interview with Brian Flores. Bucks have fired offensive coordinator Josh Gizzard. Todd Bowles, now going into his 5th year, will be hiring his 5th offensive coordinator. Yeah, you're not a good coach. I mean, I would have told you that in the first place when it comes to Todd Bowles. I don't want anything to do with the cigar store mannequin, but it is what it is. I mean, I've got no control over that. What can I tell you? Oh, man. By the way, R&M Contractors, we love Ray and Mike. If you're looking for a complete remodel, kitchen upgrades, appliances, waterproofing, terrace, balcony, flood test report, impact windows and door installations, everybody needs that here in South Florida. Dade, Broward, call our guys, Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You could check out their work, which is just ridiculous. And that's at RMC Fisher Island. That's RMC Fisher Island. Just a little crypto and finance talk, because might as well, since I kind of told you what was coming. Today the market is let's see. Let me give you the latest number here, because it started in the red today. We'll see where we at with the latest numbers. Give me a refresh here. I'm waiting. Okay, we're at plus 184, so we're back in the green at 184 points for the Dow. The S&P is up 2 points, and the NASDAQ is down about a half a point, something like that. So, so far a decent day, but we had a lot of liquidations, and we went down to 89 on Bitcoin. We're back up to 90 now, but I told you guys that if the volume did not pick up, okay, 2 days ago, I'm pretty sure when I did one of these segments, I told you guys, hey, we were pumping a little bit, but I said this pump will not maintain, because while the RSI and some of the other indicators are on the upswing, the volume is still not there in order to kind of match it. So we're still kind of in a beautiful consolidation mode. I have no problem with these kind of dips. For me, just For those of us that aren't rich, like this working stiff, it allows me, it buys me time to be able to, accumulate. And that's to me the most important part in all of this, because it will skyrocket. Not that this is financial advice, not that it's ever been financial advice, not when it was at 16,000 or at 26 or at 46. It wasn't financial advice. It's just what I would do. It's kind of like the Dolphins. You think I would go about it the way they're doing it? No, not at all. I would go about it completely different. But hey, it is what it is. It's my opinion. That's all it is. It's nothing. I'm not a football expert, of course. I'm not a Bitcoin expert. Don't know anything. Okay, but my opinion, and I just love this position that we're in. It just buys us some time. Eventually, we will explode. It's the inevitable. They're printing like it's going out of style. They're going to increase the military budget, all this kind of stuff. Everything that we've done out there in the Caribbean they are wasting so much money, so much taxpayer money, that it's ridiculous. Okay. And we've taken on now this whole thing with Venezuela, which is going to cost taxpayer more money, no matter what they tell you. Okay. Somebody's got to pay to be all out there and patrolling and protecting and all that. And, whatever. It is what it is. So they will continue to print. They've printed 2.5 trillion and added to our deficit this year. So we're headed for a $40 trillion deficit by, I don't know, maybe July, August, September of next year, something like that. It's coming, and we're going to have vicious rips. You'll see. You shall see. I've been telling you for a while, and supply shock is coming. It's all coming to a head, baby. Okay. And eventually people will figure it out, because it's also woven into the financial structure of our country now. It's part of mortgages. It's part of loans. It's looked at as property. It will have complete laws and regulations now in place coming up, because they're about to come to an agreement on that. Everything is being set forth for this thing to take off. Okay. It has won. The problem is many of you out there haven't figured it out, unfortunately. And I feel bad about that, because not that it's financial advice, but I've kind of tried for years. And, those of you that have been in it with me for years, you're like, what is wrong with you people? You don't get it, but the rest of us will have to just kind of move along. Anyway, that is our crypto segment, and we thank R&M Contractors as always. All right. So, have you guys noticed a couple days ago, Colts owner came out about 2 days ago, 3 days ago. She came out, one of the daughters of Jim Irsay, and she talked about how she's retaining the head coach and retaining the general manager, and how everything that happened was unacceptable, and that she still has belief in them that they could get the job done, but they know that the urgency is that they must get it done next year. You know what I mean? And she talked about it with the fans, and she took questions. Yesterday, Jerry Jones and company, they held their press conference. They took questions. Their disappointing season. And I'm sure a couple of more owners will trickle in over the next week or two after they kind of settle their situations, whatever it may be. And then you ask yourself, where is your owner, Dolph fans? Where is Stephen Ross? Stephen Ross hasn't addressed the fan base and the media in years now. Several years now. And this is a man that continues to fail. And he doesn't address anything. He doesn't answer or he doesn't address any questions. And this is a man that, and I understand that he's worse than Tua when it comes to talking in public. He will definitely stick his foot in his mouth. Okay. I mean, he's going to stick an entire boot. Okay. Not a foot, a boot in his mouth. But you're the owner, dude. And you never explain anything to the fans. You never apologize in person. You don't take questions from the media. You're a coward. You're a coward, Stephen Ross. It's disgraceful. Now, I bet your sales executives, I bet you those assholes are going to be calling Dolphin fans on time for their season tickets and for their deposits and for their decisions and for the suite tickets. I bet you assholes are going to be calling them, and you'll be asking, but you don't deliver anything. You don't deliver a good product. You have a dysfunctional organization. You have a 16-year run of failure. And now you've taken it to another level where you're such a coward. You don't even address the fans about your failures. You don't even tell them about fixing them or promise them or anything like that. You sent some stupid memo last year about, the status quo is not good enough. And then where'd you end up? Worse than you were last year. And where are you, dude? Nowhere to be found. And there's no real face to this organization. Have you noticed that? No, there's nobody to talk to. Mike McDaniel is addressing his job and the GM search. What an effing disaster, bro. The owner and the team president are supposed to address those kind of things. And where are they? Nowhere to be found, dude. Nowhere to be found. But hey, they'll be calling you for your season tickets. They'll be calling you for your deposits. Oh, yeah. They'll be calling advertisers to advertise inside the stadium. They'll be calling you about your suites. Right? Oh, yeah. No, they want you to commit. It's interesting, huh? They have zero responsibility. They don't take any accountability. They're not willing to actually face the fire. The most they'll do is release some stupid press release, and that's it. But yet, they ask all of you, the world. You got to go through hoops to do anything to be with the Dolphins and pay through the nose for a shitty product, by the way. Constantly a loser product. Like they give you absolutely nothing for your money. And all they do is ask, and ask. And here we are. Fans are asking for an explanation, direction. They get nothing, dude. Nothing. It just shows you the dysfunction, what level the dysfunction is, and it also shows that they don't respect the fans. They treat you like you're nothing, and you're good with it. That's the best part. You're good with it. You're good with buying the tickets. You're good with buying the shirts and the hats, and you're good with it. And they know it. And they know they could get away with it because they've been getting away with it now for 16 years. And now they don't even address the fans. Dude, I can't stand Jerry Jones, but the buffoon at least is there every week in front of the camera, and you can ask him, and whether he'll give you an answer you like or not, but dude, at least he's taking the heat, as much as he can, of course. But he was there yesterday for the presser, and he could take all the questions. And then there's the Colts owner. She just took over. She just lost her dad, and she's there taking the bullets. Where's Stephen Ross, dude? Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm just double checking. This is Adam Schefter, and this is Tom Pelissero. The Dolphins fired Mike McDaniel, per sources.
I see it right now. What a dysfunctional group. So this is how they want to try to approach. You can't approach the John Harbaugh situation with the coach in place. You already did that with another Harbaugh. Miami just called a meeting and informed the staff Mike McDaniel is out after 4 seasons. That is good, at least. That's good news. I mean, they're just a stupid group of people, bro. This is a way for them, now that they screwed up, because they were going to match Josh Williams with him, right? Now they realize, well, wait a minute, this puts us out of the John Harbaugh thing, because what did I tell you yesterday? For, one of the first questions, well, John, it's interesting. You were approached by the Dolphins with a coach in place, just like your brother. And they had to fire a coach in order to hire you. And now you just did it again. Now, if you're going to make the call, you have to fire the coach, because they weren't going to make the same mistake again. It just shows you how stupid and dysfunctional this team is. Like, Mike McDaniel wasn't worth keeping in the first place last year, much less this year. And now you fired him. So now this all goes out the window now. Now what they're trying to do is say, here, John, take our team, you and Chad, and take over. Today I had Miami was down to their 2 final GMs, and this is what I was going to explain. Okay, but they just ruined my whole shit now. Champ Kelly wasn't going to get the job. Okay? John Eric Sullivan wasn't going to get the job. Okay? They were down to 2 guys. I'm sorry. Chad Alexander wasn't going to get the job because they're not getting Harbaugh. So John Eric Sullivan or Josh Williams was your 2 candidates. Those were your 2 candidates for this whole clown show. And they would have picked Josh Williams because he was the favorite inside that building to pair him up with Mike McDaniel. But now that these assholes have no idea what they're doing and they found out that Harbaugh is available, now this is they're like, well, it's not like Mike McDaniel's this great coach. Why are we going to keep him? We can't get Harbaugh without him. So if we're going to challenge the Giants, right, we need to fire him so we can approach him with everything and say, here, you can have the entire franchise, Chad Alexander and everybody else. So now this is their Hail Mary is what's going on right now with the Miami Dolphins. They have dropped back. They're at their own 1-yard line, and they're heaving it. And they're hoping downfield that Marino connects with Oronde Gadsden or Mark Clayton or some, I got a Irving Fryer. I can't use Tua in this reference. Okay. So this is like a Hail Mary because you cannot approach Harbaugh with this idiot in place. What did I tell you guys yesterday? Like, how stupid is this? So you're going to go after another Harbaugh with a coach in place. Like, you people are dumbasses. We talked about this yesterday. And there you go. There you go. So now this is their Hail Mary, and we'll see if they can get over the Giants. And I would say Tennessee would be the other. The Raiders is the 3rd team because they're going to get Mendoza. They have the number 1 pick, but the Raiders are in the same division as his brother. So that's the only thing that I think Harbaugh takes the Giants or the Tennessee job. Still, there's no reason for him to take this job. But we'll see now. We'll see at 63, would he be crazy enough to take this at this point? But make no mistake, that they fired Mike McDaniel because they realized, like maybe the agent said, like in passing, like, hey guys, this is kind of an uncomfortable situation. You have a coach in place. And that's it in the conversation. And then they go and fire him. Well, we don't have a coach in place anymore. Let's go. But it also shows your dysfunction. And if you're Harbaugh, you're like, well, am I going to work for these people? I don't see it, man. I hope so. I pray I'm wrong. Okay. But their little plan just got obliterated. Because Josh Williams was going to get this job. They were going to do the human Jenga with Mike McDaniel. That was the plan. That was the guy. I told you. You know what I mean? These other guys, the Chad Alexander thing is bait for Harbaugh. You know what I mean? But now they could go get a coach that's as good or better than Mike McDaniel out on the street anyway. So they're going to be available. Let's see if we could get John Harbaugh. So I at least I'll give them credit for this. They went and did what they had to do. Fire McDaniel, clear the air, and then go after Harbaugh and say, okay, look, the kingdom's yours. Okay? Because the other way, there was no shot at getting him. I still don't think you get him because of the cap problems, no quarterback, all those kind of things is going to be an issue for John Harbaugh. That it just makes sense for a guy that is 63 years old. And I think that if he wants to get back on the groove, he's going to probably want to go somewhere where they're a little closer to turning the corner. The Giants, they have some defensive players. They have a quarterback. Even though I think Jackson Dart can be a franchise quarterback, but I don't think he'll be one if he continues to play the way he's playing. Because there's no way you survive running. Sorry, not going to happen. By the way, please smash the hell out of the like button. We got nearly 300 people watching, only 78 likes. Let's go. Easily, come on, man, let's go. We could get it to like 150. Come on, hit that like button, please. And remember, you can hit the notification bell. That way you know when we go live, if there's breaking news, whatever it is, a rant, whatever, hit the notification bell. And remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. You can send in your questions, comments, and insults. Ocala Joe, thank you for the love on Cash App. He says, it's a happy day to me. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because we have no more Mike McDaniel. And that is, I give them credit there, man. I am going to give them all the love in the world for firing Mike McDaniel. You can find anybody that's better than that bum. So I'm glad that they fired his ass. And I'm glad, by the way, that they're not going to do this human Jenga shit. Like, earlier, who was it? It's, oh, your boy is still alive, which I knew he would be alive, but it's not my boy. It's just the guy that I told you, from what I hear from San Fran and from what I hear from the Miami building, he's the dog. He's the guy that they were going to pick to pair with Mike McDaniel. Now, Harbaugh gets fired and they get surprised, and now they have to pivot. So I give them credit for pivoting. We got to give them credit for pivoting because, as I told you yesterday, with him in place and all that, there's no way you have a shot at Harbaugh. Now you're going to tell him, hey, bro, the avenue's clear. There's no coach. You can bring in your general manager. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is another thing that I wanted for the Dolphins. They're not going to get him, but okay. Didn't I say I wanted a football czar? Did I not say I wanted a football czar? Okay. I'm sorry. Sean, if you hire John Harbaugh, he's the football czar, isn't he? That's what I want. Take all decisions away from the circle of idiots. Bring somebody from the outside. Like I told you, Wayne had it right. I'm going to go get Dombrowski to run my baseball team with Carl Barger, the late Carl Barger, rest in peace. But he put the baseball people in place. He put his hockey people, Bobby Clark, Bill Torrey, in place. And in football, he put Saban, he put Parcells, he put Jimmy. It didn't work, but it was the right way of doing things. Because he wasn't going to start becoming the football guy like Stephen Ross thinks he is, like his little son-in-law does, who won his – Danny Silman did win the fantasy league last year. Okay, so he's just not like a PR guy or anything like that. No. He is a fantasy football champion, Danny Silman. So I am glad that at least we have a chance. Hey, the clown-ass owner of the Miami Dolphins has actually put out a message. Statement from Dolphin chairman and clown-ass owner Stephen M. Ross. After careful evaluation, and now that John Harbaugh has become available, and extensive discussions, you figure out when I add shit. Since the season ended, I have made the decision that our organization is absolute crap and in need of comprehensive change. I informed that bum-ass Mike McDaniel this morning that he has been fired of his sorry-ass duties as head crippling-ass coach of my football team. I love Mike. I don't know why, and I want to thank him, but I shouldn't, for his hard work and commitment to a lot of crap for our organization and the energy he brought to our disgusting organization. Mike is incredibly creative, really stupid, a terrible joke teller. I can't stand him. Too many ums, ahs, and all rights. He has mind who passions for the game and his players, and it was never evident any single day that I have ever employed him. I wish him and his family the best moving forward. Okay? Tell me that my statement, right? I mean, you know, the color I added to the statement, it's a lot better. It's a lot better than the one that he put out there. But, you know, you could figure out what words were his words, and you know, I hope so. There you go. Make a short video of this and send it to your friends. That's what you do. Hey, you see Stephen Ross put out a statement, and just have me on it, and that's it. Just that way Dolphins will feel good about the statement. Because if you actually read the statement, you'll be disgusted. But if you read my statement, you're like, okay, that makes sense now. Yeah, I can feel the anger. I share it. That kind of stuff. All right, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. John Geeb says, Harbaugh or no Harbaugh, they finally cleared it out, all out, clean house. It is what was necessary, and they finally did it. Finally, sensible movement by ownership. That's right, John. And thank you for the Venmo, sir. Appreciate you immensely. Let's see what we got here. True Fin fan. I see him going to Cincy or Buffalo. Who, Harbaugh? No, he won't go to Cincy. Buffalo has to fire their coach. Let's see. Brett, Hans, and Franz. And we're here to pump you up. Thank you, True Fin fan. Thank you, Brett, Franz. Just began my crypto journey today, Big O. Better late than never. Bitcoin to the moon. There you go. Good for you, dude. Good for you. You're taking advantage of this huge dip. Love it. Well, it's not like the old days, huge. 30% is nothing. But yeah. Good for you, man. Good luck to you, Brett. Good luck to you, dude. You are a winner, bro. Let's see. Talon. Big O. John Wayne here. What a happy day. Yes. By the way, have you heard the song John Wayne from Billy Idol? Great song, dude. His latest album. Love that song, John Wayne. Thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat there, Talon. Talon again. Thank you, sir. He says, Big O, this is a huge decision for the Dolphins. 51 years looking at this mess. Please make 2026 blessed year for the Dolphin fans. Let's go Canes. Dude, they got a lot of cap issues next year. They're not going to next year, look, I keep you guys level-headed, okay? Next year, what we have to hope for is a great draft and further development of the players you've taken the last couple of years and then the new class. So you can get through these cap issues that aren't going to allow you to have the depth or even add a free agent or two or something like that. And then I think in 2027, you'll still have some cap issues. It won't be freedom, but you still should start kind of turning some kind of corner. And then in 28, if you've done well in the draft, you should be pretty good. But you have to have the right people in place. You have to have made the right picks, this year and next year that you have extra picks. So it's kind of a catch-22. If you listen to the piece that I put out last week about how I would handle this whole thing, I actually, in all this negativity, I actually think there's a lot of positives in the way you can transition here. But you have to understand what you have to do, and I explained it. And so, it is what it is. It's like the only positive I can find in this whole terrible negative situation. But it's up to them to handle it the right way, and they just don't know. They just don't know how to handle things the right way. And this breaking news just tells you all you need to know. It's like, after careful consideration, like, bro, you've had 4 years. You've watched this guy be a buffoon every single week, and you do nothing about it. So how are you going to tell me that now is when you've come to the realization that you have to? No, it's because Harbaugh is available. And so the only way you have a chance at Harbaugh is by firing your coach, because you're a dumbass. You went after another Harbaugh with a coach in place. That's what we talked about yesterday. So it's just pure stupidity. And then now you put John Harbaugh in a position that, well, they had to fire a coach in order to hire you. How do you feel about that? Because that's what they tried to do with John Harbaugh, with your brother Jim. It's just a stupid organization. And they were going to do the whole human Jenga thing with Josh. We were going there. We were going in that direction. We were down to 2 guys. Because Chad Alexander wasn't getting shit. Well, you had McDaniel in place. You cannot approach John Harbaugh. Now you don't have McDaniel in place. You can approach John Harbaugh and say, red carpet, keys to the kingdom. It's all yours. Go ahead. Oh, man. Kosa, great morning, Big O. I'm back, fellow Dolph fans. There we go. Kosa's back. Thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. And we love the super chats, but YouTube takes 30%. So that's why we encourage the Cash Apps and Venmo, because we get 100%, Brent. Helps the show, When you visit our amazing sponsors like Sloman's, it helps the show, dude. It helps the show. By the way, the Sloman's Home Shield is in 49 of 50 states. It's a beautiful thing. And ShieldLink is something that we all need in our homes, because with one app on your phone, you're controlling the lights, the climates, the door locks, the music, the blinds, the TVs, just about anything and everything in your home. So whether you're on the couch, you're on a commute, you're at work, across the country, whatever it is, somebody leaves the doors unlocked, you can lock them. You're headed home and it's a hot day, you want to turn on the AC so the house cools down, you can do it. Do what I do. I got dogs, and, it might get a little hot. Hey, let me lower the temperature a little bit in the house for the dogs. I want my dogs feeling comfortable, dude. They're like my kids. I even have cameras inside the home. Not everybody does that. Most everybody has cameras outside. Yeah, I have cameras outside, but I have cameras inside because I have 4 dogs patrolling the house. Especially the two little ones don't do anything, but the 2 big ones are terrors. You know what I'm saying? So the Sloman's Home Shield allows me to do that. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tell them that Big O sent you. We're in 49 of 50 states. support our amazing sponsors that keep us alive every single year. All right. Let's see. Eric Echeverria on the super chat. Does this mean that they have a GM and that GM has his head coach? Well, we'll see. That's what they're going to do now. If they miss on Harbaugh, which they probably will miss on Harbaugh, they will now hire a GM that will hire his head coach. They will now do things the way they're supposed to instead of the human Jenga that they were going to do with Josh and Mike McDaniel. So that's all. By the way, Josh Williams has got to be, well, maybe not. Maybe he's not disappointed. Maybe he gets another job somewhere else and he doesn't have to come to this mess. But he had the job. If they kept McDoofus, he had the job. You know, so it's just, they're such a disaster, dude. They're such a disaster. It's just amazing. But I give them credit at least because they've realized, well, yeah, we can't approach Harbaugh with a guy in place. I already did that once. And so we'll see what happens. It just kind of makes it even more uncomfortable, you know? But what are you going to do? Oh, man. Let's see. Joe Cracciola, thank you for the love on Venmo. He says, Big O, had to take a little time out to celebrate this great day. Ross finally did something smart. You were spot on as usual. Love the show. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. We try, man. We try. We try to get you the information as quick as possible. We try to keep you guys level-headed. And, you know, it's just kind of the way I have always handled this whole thing. I'm not going to play with your emotions. I'm not going to try to play with your emotions. Sometimes I get played with my own emotions. Well, that's different. But I'm not going to play this game where I'm doing stuff for clickbait purposes and things like that. That's not a cool way of doing this stuff. I'd rather just be brutally honest, and that either I'm right or I'm completely wrong, and that's fine with me. I have no problem with that. You know, that's kind of what a human being is. They're right and they're wrong, you know? So anyway, what else do we have? I'll tell you what you should be. Now this opens it up for Anthony Weaver, because Anthony Weaver either gets fired now because they'll fire the whole staff, and whoever the new GM is will bring in his own coach, and they'll bring in their own assistants and all that. And we have to watch this situation because Weaver has 3 interviews, and if by any chance he could get a head coaching job, Miami gets 2 third-rounders. So right now they're going to hang on to the staff. But the question is, how long will they hang on to the staff? You know, that's the question. But it's something that we have to watch because we need him to get hired before the new coach comes in, because we don't know if the new coach is going to keep him. You know what I'm saying? He may have his own people already in place and his own style or whatever, you know, comfort zone, which is kind of what this is all about at times, you know? Let's see, Big O, I have to give you credit. You were first out on McDaniel. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it, but, you know, that's kind of, it makes no sense to even keep him here. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know how, I just can't understand the way these people do business. True Fin Fan says, next year will be at best 4-13 season I've ever witnessed. I've been waiting for this 3 years. Greer, McDaniel, and one would assume Tua will be gone in June. Yes, Tua will be gone in June. I already talked about that. I talked about it yesterday. I even also gave you guys a destination where I think he could land. You can check that out also. The rent is there. Big O, fear for the Canes tonight, because how can today get any better? Oh, it can. Oh, we're gonna be in heaven tonight, bro. I got faith in the Canes. I got faith in the Canes. And I also feel in this game that Beck is going to actually play a bigger part. Although in Ohio State, he made the throws that you needed to make, dude, especially third down. Bro, you were 7 of 14 on third downs, and several of them were throws. So Beck played well in Ohio State. Was he like this dominant force? You don't need it. We got to get past all that shit. We just need a guy to make plays and get it to the playmakers. We don't need a guy to, we don't need Cam Ward. It just, the team is so good, so balanced, okay, that you just need him to facilitate and not turn over the ball. That's it, dude. That's all you really need right now. And that's why I told you guys, for you people out there that are flipping out about, oh my God, the Canes aren't active and they're not getting a quarterback. Yo, bro, relax. The Canes are so good, they don't really need Sam Levitt. They could actually get a guy that's a little lesser, and he'll be a star here because all he's got to do is give it to Malachi Toney on a 7-yard slant, and then he'll do the rest. You know, and that's kind of what it is. And you'll be behind a line that gives you 87 seconds to throw the ball, and you can like smoke a cigar, drop a 1-inch ash on a defender, and then throw the ball. Okay, it's just, this is the University of Miami right now, the way Mario is building it with the line, because he's a lineman, he understands. He's building it where it's going to be super QB friendly. Steve Walsh, my favorite quarterback of all time for the University of Miami, and Ken Dorsey were nothing like Cam, were nothing like Jim Kelly. They didn't have 25% of the talent of Vinny Testaverde. And they were money better than everybody else. Why? Because they were smart and they could throw the ball. And that's all you need. They didn't need to be carried by them. They just needed to facilitate and don't turn it over. That's all Miami has to get back to. You think Craig Erickson was this incredible talent? No, dude. He was a solid quarterback. He was smart, had a good arm. That's it. It's all, dude. You don't, it doesn't have to be, young or, any of these freak kind of college quarterbacks that you've seen in the past that they've done everything for their team, Cam Newton, all that kind of stuff. No, dude, that's not what you need. It's not what you need. So I know it's part of our greed because we get a little Gordon Gekko, but at the quarterback spot, I think the Canes are so good that they don't need to get so greedy and spend a crap ton of money on a quarterback. Eric Echevarria, thank you, sir. He says, weren't the GMs asked other about coaching preferences? Possibly someone had a convincing pitch for their coach and Vision X Kevin Stefanski. By the way, see, I think Stefanski will also try to take a place that has a quarterback and no cap issues. Those two, like, I don't think we have a shot at Harbaugh or Stefanski. But this is how you get these kind of people. If you're gonna have a shot. So I give him credit for that. And Eric, to your point, besides the Harbaugh thing, is there any chance when they did the interviews with some of these guys, they said, well, yeah, Mike's all right, and maybe he didn't get maybe Chad Alexander in the initial interview didn't give him this wavering pass. Maybe John Eric Sullivan from Green Bay didn't give him this amazing pass. The three from San Francisco are not going to trash him because they're trying to get a raise and a better job. Not that it's a great job, but it is better because you are a general manager and the money and all that other stuff. So you're trying to do that. But maybe some of those other guys said something and opened their eyes. Who knows? Who knows, Eric? Who knows? You might be onto something, my brother. What do you think of McDaniel to Tampa for the sixth OC in 6 years? Well, I cannot see him working with Todd Bowles. No. And I can't see him working with Baker Mayfield. I don't think Baker Mayfield wants to deal with a guy like that. I think Baker Mayfield likes classic style coaching because he's kind of that kind of player too, you know? So, yeah, no. But, hey, man, crazier shit has happened. We'll see. I personally would not hire Mike McDaniel as an offensive coordinator. That's just me. I think he's a, what's that called? I think he's a position coach is what McDaniel is. I don't see him as an offensive coordinator. He doesn't know how to put it all together, and also he doesn't know how to counter right away. He's kind of a scatterbrain, and that's why I'm not big on it. What else do we have? Let's see. Share Bear. I must have missed that I was in the locker room sprucing up. He was sprucing up. All right. Jay Puri or something. It says rumors that Browns would make a run at McD if he came available. Go for it. JWR McDaniel should have known once they hired the man who was criticizing his dumbass on national TV, Troy Aikman. No, it had nothing to do with that. This is all Harbaugh, bro. This is Harbaugh became available and they realized, hey, we did this already once. We had a coach in place and went after his brother. We're not, and who knows, maybe they called the agent, okay? And the agent goes, hey, guys, you've got a coach in place. That's kind of an uncomfortable situation for my client. Now, I respect that you guys are interested, but, I've in respect to John and this whole search, I don't think we want to start off with that kind of a controversy. So, maybe you guys can assess your situation, but we have to look at it our way. Maybe there was an initial call that wasn't like, hey, put us on the list yet. Or maybe the agent kind of gave them an indirect and said, hey, and so they looked at each other and go, which, they're kind of, this is a stupid group of human beings. No matter how rich they are, when it comes to football, they're stupid. Because think about this, okay? I want you to think about all of this kind of stuff. If they made the call to the agent with McDaniel in place, how stupid are you? You're already looking like a dumbass. Like, yo, bro, you went after his brother with a coach in place. That's just not, that is a no-no. That's so unprofessional. You don't do that. And so now you're going to do it again? So maybe Barry is right and Josina's wrong, which I would probably lean that way, that the Dolphins hadn't really called Harbaugh yet. And maybe I'm hoping they didn't make that call and the agent goes, well, you guys got a coach in place. It's a little uncomfortable right now. I don't want to put John in that position. You guys go assess your situation. And then they hung up and then they went and fired him. Now they could call back, hey, we fired our coach. We're now in, or they realized, I'm hoping that they actually had a little intelligence. Oh shit, Harbaugh's fired. Okay. All right, before we call the agent, we need to fire Mike McDaniel because we made this mistake already when we went to go see Jim and we had Tony Sperano under contract. This was in the middle of a season, by the way. Wasn't even in the off season, I think. I think it was like towards the end of a season or something. It's crazy. Crazy shit. And I'm hoping that they said, okay, wait a minute, dude. Okay, so we're going to bring in the Alexander guy that's tied to Harbaugh. We know that wherever Harbaugh goes, he's going to, like, Alexander's not going to take the job for the Dolphins. That's the other thing that I was going to tell you today. There's no way Alexander takes a job because he's going to wait for Harbaugh to make his decision because he'll go wherever Harbaugh goes. No brainer. So they actually, I don't know what happened. I don't know if they made the call to the agent and the agent strained them out and then they fired McDaniel, or when Harbaugh became available, after thinking about it now for 36 hours, are like, well, before we make this call, let's fire McDaniel. I don't know which one. That I cannot answer, ladies and gentlemen. That's the part I cannot answer, and I don't know. Okay, I'd have to see if I can find that information. I don't know if some of the people in there are going to admit what went on, but, that's it is what it is. So, oh my God, you have me rolling today. Every comment about the Dolphins today are so funny but true. Go Canes. I'm sorry, my brother. I know it sucks. Sucks. But it is what we are. Nyborg says, Sean, we need Big O's translation of the clown-ass owner's Steve Law statement. You want to make that like a little video? Steve Ross releases a statement. Orlando reads it. Something. You guys can do it on your own. You can clip it and put it on Twitter and all that and have some fun with it if you want. Some of you are that talented. You can do that kind of stuff. I don't know how to do that kind of stuff. I see some of you do that stuff, and I just don't know how to do it. I don't have the skills to do that kind of stuff. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. Hateful Steve is in the house. He says, can we get a victory cigar for everyone who wanted McDaniel fired? I like that idea, Hateful Steve. Sean Stanley, can you facilitate? Love it. Rob Erickson, thank you for the love on Venmo. Also, Morning O, sorry I can't watch you live today as I'm busy at work. I still wanted to send you something, though. I'm going to watch your reaction to the McDaniel situation later on. Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. We will be back tonight, by the way, for the Miami Hurricanes post-game show. We'll be talking about the Canes' win over Ole Miss, because you know that's what's going to happen, right? You know that's what's going to happen. Going and beating Ole Miss today. Sean, do me a favor. Give me 30 seconds, por favor.
It's game day at Toyota of Hollywood. Our all-stars are here to give you our MVP experience. Join the fun and feast on discounts up to $4,500. Huddle up and score big on a 25 Corolla. Not $26,000, $17,988. It's a tailgate party you don't want to miss. So gobble up the savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Mike.
This day is so good for you and me. Look, I don't know what direction we're going in the future now, but I do know the direction we're not going in. Okay? That's that. I have to look at it that way. You have to look at it that way, right? Because none of us really with a brain wanted to go in a direction with Mike McDaniel. And I didn't want to play the human Jenga of Josh Williams and Mike McDaniel. Nothing against Josh Williams. He might be a good candidate. I don't know. I have no idea. But in this mess, he's set up for failure because you've got that coach with you. Okay, so these people weren't smart enough to fire him. But at least now we know, as a Dolphins fan, you know and I know, next year we don't have to listen to the ums and ahs and the all rights and listen to a guy that's going to make the same effing mistakes every single week. And you and I don't have to tolerate an idiot that just does not know how to be a head coach and wasn't ready for this position. And by the way, an idiot that ruined a window for the Dolphins that they could have at least enjoyed more victories, maybe even a playoff win, which everything would have been completely different if that would have happened. We all would have had a different outlook because it's things that we would have never experienced in like years, so it would have helped, but it didn't. And so there's a lot to blame here from top to bottom, from owner to front office to head coach and staff and all that. And the good thing is for you, for me, for all of us, he's gone, dude. He's gone. So you have a chance to improve at head coach because that guy's terrible. And to me, it's like, was it Corso or was it Ocala Joe or whatever? This is a great day. Whichever one of you guys, that's what it is. It's a great day because we got rid of this moron. They waited way too long, a year too late, over a year too late. I would have fired him last year in the middle of the season. But hey, man, there we go. And you know what? Here's the other thing I got to say, and I won't call out specific names, but I don't have to hear some of these national writers who clearly have a relationship with Mike McDaniel and cannot be objective. And I'm sick and tired of hearing those people, and so that to me is just, another thing that is just like I want no part of. Let's see. Christopher says, no cigars for me anymore, but a bourbon will be enjoyed later. Cheers. Good luck to Pajama Boy. Let's see. Howard, very tough schedule next season. I don't play the schedule game. And by the way, they suck anyways. So every schedule for them is tough. They won 7 games this year. Let's see. Anthony loving the news. Want to make me happier? Say that Ross is selling. That would be good, but that will never happen, unfortunately. That's why he's got the son-in-law in place. You're already seeing like the baton being handed off, I mean, the dude's 85. How much longer is he going to be able to be around and run the team, Fernando, I don't want to be a GM at all. I would just like to go over and hang out with Stephen Ross. And when he tells me what he's going to do, I'm going to tell him, good plan, bad plan. Stay away from that. Don't do that. That's all. That's all. Stephen obviously has a lot of yes men around him. So I've told you, it's a building full of people just trying to save their asses. He needs a couple people that are willing to tell him the truth, unfortunately. So it is what it is. Now we need to hire Chad Alexander. You can hire him. You could try to hire him. He won't take the job, Frankie. He's not taking the job. He's going to wait for Harbaugh's decision, and then he'll go with Harbaugh. He's going to do the diligence for his personal self and go through the process of the interview. But you're also, by the way, here's another thing that you're not thinking of, Frankie. You can't hire Chad Alexander without John Harbaugh anymore. So he's going to go wherever Harbaugh goes, but he's going to go through the GM process because that's his goal in life. So he wants the experience of it. Plus, he's not going to be a dick. And when an NFL team calls to interview you, you go because that's an honor to be able to be interviewed, even if you don't want the job, but you have to go through the process. And it's good for you also because it prepares you for the one that you really do want, down the line. So I don't believe there's a chance you hire Chad Alexander until you get John Harbaugh. And once whoever gets John Harbaugh will get Chad Alexander. Right now, put it this way, Chad Alexander was already out there for interviews. Miami didn't ask for an interview until Harbaugh got fired. That's not a good look for them either. Okay? So all of a sudden now, Harbaugh gets the job. He's going to absorb Chad Alexander right away. So unless you can nail down Harbaugh, there's no way that you get Chad Alexander at this point in time. They had one plan set in place, and then the Harbaugh thing, and it shows how bullshit their plan was that they scrapped it right away for Harbaugh. Because if you really had conviction and you really loved Mike McDaniel and all that shit, you would have gotten, Josh Williams in there, and you would have said, no, this is going to work because Josh Williams is ready for this next step, and he knows Mike McDaniel, and they can work together, and we're ready to move forward. But your plan was so flimsy that the second Harbaugh became available, you knew you didn't have a shot at Harbaugh. Now you had to clear house in order to get Harbaugh. Yes, sir. What you got? This is old. I got to look here for the live one. I thought it was you going in right now. What else? I'm cool with Sullivan if we don't land Alexander. Whatever, man. It is what it is. Sullivan has a good background. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's just kind of funny how it all works out, And I just have a hard time believing that Harbaugh is going to consider this place with all the problems it has and no quarterback. And the Giants situation just looks too perfect for him. By the way, it's not necessarily the toughest division in the world. Washington's decent. Dallas is all right. You know what I mean? So it's not like you're, Philly's the one that you have to deal with. So the Giants can put themselves in a decent position, with Harbaugh. That would be pretty good. That would be pretty good. So I'm sure Chad Alexander is just going through the motions and waiting for Harbaugh to make his decision. Mr. Spock says the execution and decision-making process sucks. Why not fire both GM and head coach at midseason? Why did Mike hang around for 10 more games? So now Ross will make the right decision. Yeah, okay. See, what you were supposed to do is you fire McDaniel after game 3. You put Weaver in for 14 games. You find out if he's got head coach in him. You fire the GM at the end of the year in the offseason. And then you replace everybody at the same time. You hire the GM, he hires his head coach, fixes the personnel staff, all that kind of stuff. You don't do it midseason in reverse. But this is a stupid organization. This is why they were going to play human Jenga, and then all of a sudden, Harbaugh became available, and boom. So. What else do we have? Bummed we get passed on the Rams guy. He was literally Chris Shula's roommate in college. I don't know if Chris Shula's ready to be a head coach. You have to give him a really strong support staff. I don't know if you have that here. He's a terrific defensive coordinator, and his defense is loaded. But I'm not ready for that, bro. Pat in Nashville says it's so Dolphins to turn on a dime, miss Harbaugh, and run right into a canal infested with gators. That reference is for you, Frankie. Fins Up says, Zach Krantz says hello. He's right next to me. Really? The Z-Man's next to you? He's awesome. One of the best human beings in the business. Zach Krantz. Just so you'll know. I don't know if he's really next to you, because some of you talk a lot of shit and you're like bullshitting me and all that. But whether he's there with you or not, he is one of the best human beings in this business. Okay? Zach is too good of a human being to be in the radio business. Put it that way. Yes, sir.
No, to add on to that, he's the one that taught me and got me started in the business. Zach did. So
Zach,
tell him I said hi if he's actually beside you.
Yeah, Zach is money, bro. Zach is a good person, bro. Always has been, always will be. And I hope the family as well, Zach. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see. App says, dude, you are wrong. How old was Peyton when he took over Denver? Had the same issues. The Dolphins had no QB had to eat Wilson's contract, so you have no idea what's going to happen. Well, you're not getting a quarterback now, so you're not getting your Bo Nix, which I'm still not convinced completely with Bo Nix, because he does have a little bit of, what's it called? Uneven play, but he is clutch. I will say, son of a bitch, when the moment needs it, he does find a way to make a play. I will give him credit there. They got lucky, and they got Sean Payton. I don't see a Sean Payton available, sir. There's not a Sean Payton. I don't see a head coach that right now is going to be able to turn your team around like that. That's an experienced head coach. I don't see that. I don't see that comment. But hey, look, dude, I'm sure you probably last year in the offseason, when I said it was going to be a shitty year in 7-10, dude, you are wrong. So it's all right, bro. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good. When I said to trade X right after the 10 interceptions, dude, you're all wrong. It's all good, bro. No problem, bro. It's all good. It's all good. When we call Bam a super role player, dude, you're wrong. It's all good. It's all good, bro. No problem. We're wrong all the time. All the time. Yeah. How many people told you it was going to be a shitty year and they were going to go 7-10? Well, what can I tell you? Let's see. I swear he loves you too. Oh, I appreciate that. Zach's a good dude, bro. Zach's a good dude. I was asking Zach if he knew Big O since I watch your show, and he said, of course, best in the biz. Well, I don't know about best in the biz, but very nice. I appreciate that. Don't leave Tua in the building. He's gone on June 1st, bro. He's gone June 1st. He's history. They're making their move. Ewers might surprise you all. Yeah, just like Cleo Lemon, Matt Moore, John Beck. They're all going to surprise you. I understand, man. I understand there's a portion of the fans that you got to always stay hopeful and all that. I told this to a listener yesterday about that. And here's my reply to him, just to kind of give, because this is perfect for that gentleman there. Hope is a beautiful thing. And I understand having hope, and you never know what could happen, and any given Sunday, and all those kind of cliches and all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, it's really not about that. None of the stuff that you're hoping for is really the reality. The reality is that, let me see if I can find exactly the words for it before I paraphrase it. Here it is. This isn't about luck or divine intervention, my friend. It's about building a real organization like the Florida Panthers or the Miami Heat. That's why they enjoy success. And that's why fins up are screwed. It takes a lot more than hope. This isn't the lottery. I live in reality. That's what I told him. And, it might surprise you. What's the thing I heard in the last offseason? Well, everybody thinks that the Dolphins aren't going to be very good. That's why they're going to be good. Okay. All right. Okay. That's the reasoning we're going to use. I can't do those things. I can't do those things. I can walk you off the ledge on the Canes. Oh my God, the Canes aren't recruiting a quarterback right now. No, bro, they're focused on the playoffs, and they don't need Sam Levitt anymore. With the line they have and the weapons and all, they need a facilitator. They need a smart guy. They need a Ken Dorsey, who's not a 5-star, and neither was Steve Walsh. So I can be positive about things that are relatable, that are understandable, that are realistic. Look, I just walked you through this whole mess. They were going to play human Jenga with Josh Williams and Mike McDaniel. And then all of a sudden, Harbaugh became available. Because I know they love Josh Williams in the building. I know it for a fact. Like, etched in stone fact. There are people in that building that wanted Josh. But then when Harbaugh became available, they knew that they were making the same mistake with the other Harbaugh. They had a coach in place. So now they had to scrap that plan. Because, of course, the Harbaugh plan, even if you fail, it was worth the taking the swing, you know? It's kind of like what the Heat do nowadays. They go and try to get after every whale, but they don't have picks. They don't have cap space. They don't have the sexiness that they need in order to deal in today's NBA, but they take the interview. And, and people talk about, well, at least they got the interview. Yeah, bridesmaid is really nice. You want to be the bride. You don't want to be the bridesmaid. But, the Heat are lost in their ways of doing things, unfortunately, nowadays. They don't get the way things are done in the NBA nowadays. Ricky is in the house with a little love on the super chat. He says they fired Miguel. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Dolphins going to end up with another first-timer coach. Will be gone in 4 years. Maybe. That's kind of what we do. You never know. Run the ball and play great defense. Greasy threw 14 passes a game. Exactly. Yep. Let's see. Dolphin Dave. Dolphins win 3 games next year. It's going to take at least 2 more years if we get the right coach. Probably. Think Blue Dodgers. Now McDumbass can watch Tua tape at Tua's house since he got popcorn money. Fins up. Brian says, have a great day. Oh, we're live on what not ripping cards, enjoying McDaniel's departure. Yes, enjoy it. That's the good thing, that we don't have to deal with Mike McDaniel next year. At least that's the positive. That is a monster positive. Incognita says, do you think Tua would be a good fit in Denver? Well, they have already Knicks. They're not Knicks. Bo Nix. They're not gonna get a quarterback. I already talked about where he should go. You should check out that segment. Okay. Atlanta is the place, and check it out. That's the one that I think he could go to. He could get traded in the offseason. And in June, when they make the cut, I explained it. You can trade Tua to Atlanta and get like a late round pick because you'll eat some of the salary too. Not only the bonus, but you'll eat some of the salary, which will make it cheaper for Atlanta. They have Penix under contract for 2 more years, so that gives them a little competition between 2 guys. Tua plays in a dome for half the year with Atlanta. He plays in a dome against New Orleans. And he'll play in Carolina and Tampa Bay, 2 places that the weather isn't brutal. So most of his career every year will be played in a controlled type environment, which is better for him. But first of all, he's got to fix his body. Whatever happened to his hip last year, I don't know if it's fixable or not. I didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn yesterday, so I am not some kind of, doctor. But if it can be fixed and he can go to Nick Hicks and get back his flexibility and play like he was playing 2 years ago, he'll take Michael Penix's job. And they've got good weapons over there. So if I'm Atlanta, I'm exploring a trade of Tua to Atlanta, and that way I have the 2 guys, and I know they're both injury prone or whatever, but he fits there. He fits with what they're doing, actually. So it would be a really good fit for him. So there you go. There's a piece there. There's a rant there. Sean posted it. You can check it out also. What else do we have? Holt says, aside from Cam, fail forward fast, Cameron, yes, Regis Philbin. Okay, play on words with broadcasters. Is that what we're doing? I've seen there are 3 Hall of Famers waste their careers for this franchise. Dan Marino in the 90s, Zach and JT's failure, all levels of this organization. Yeah. Pat and Sam wasted their time here. Cam Wake wasted his time here. Yeah, that's kind of the way it goes. It is what it is. That's what our team does, unfortunately. You know. What else do we have there? Tua will play on turf, which will increase the chances of concussions, but I don't care. I'm over. Show me the money. Yeah. Yeah, you shouldn't worry about it. And by the way, Tua can stay away from concussions. Just get rid of the ball. You know, that's it. And you'll have less chances of it. Don't hang on to the ball for 4 or 5 seconds. Don't try to be an athlete when you're not one. Just play the game like a regular statue does. Matt Stafford doesn't try to run, and neither did Tom Brady or Drew Brees or any of these guys. They played in the pocket and they got rid of the ball. That's it, dude. That's all. But you need a smart offensive coordinator that will change the launch points at times. You need a front office that will build a real wall in front of you. Because when you have the Tom Bradys and the Dan Marinos of the world and all those kind of guys that cannot move, okay, you gotta build an offensive line. Okay. When Miami would give Tom Brady problems, where was it? Pass rush. When Tom Brady lost in the Super Bowl to the Giants twice, pass rush. So if your line can't stop pass rush, Pat Mahomes, you can have the best quarterbacks and you'll lose. Pat Mahomes got to a Super Bowl once with no offensive line, and he got his ass kicked in that Super Bowl and all year long because they couldn't stop the pass rush. So, for guys like that, it's just it's a matter of understanding who you have and then complement the player the way it's supposed to. If you don't, and you try to make Tua, you give him a half-ass line, no dedication to the running game, and then he's got to also be an athlete, that is a recipe for disaster. You are a stupid team. You did not build it. You saw him come from Alabama, where they had the wall of Montezuma. That's how it works. It doesn't work if he doesn't have the wall of Montezuma, but that's how it goes. You got to understand what you have and then have to know how to complement it. And then maybe you can maximize it. But if you don't know that Marino needs a running game and a defense, you won't maximize it. If you don't know that you've got to solve your offensive issues so you can maximize Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, Sam Madison, Pat Surtain, and Tim Bowens, you will waste their careers. And guess what happened? You wasted their careers because you couldn't solve the offensive issues. We have been a franchise for 40 years that doesn't know how to complement our players. And it doesn't matter what era it is. We just continually do that. So away it goes, man. It's what I've lived and what I've watched forever. The change needed to happen. We are a reflection of our head coach. We need a tough-minded coach that can bring in a staff. Coaching matters. Harbaugh can bring in a great staff if he's the choice. Yes, of course. It's, again, why would we be the choice? Why would Harbaugh pick Miami? It's not sexy. It's just not. And by the way, please stop with the salary stupid shit. The salary he gets here, the Giants will give him the same salary. And Tennessee and whoever hires him is going to give him the same salary. That has nothing to do with it. But if you have a quarterback, that's better for him, Harbaugh. If you don't have cap problems, that's better for him, Harbaugh. And unfortunately, the Dolphins have both of those issues. And you just created a mess because you just fired your head coach in order to talk to him. And that will be a topic. And that's another distraction he has to handle at the beginning of his press conference in here. Well, Jim, John, isn't it interesting? The Dolphins had to fire their head coach in order to approach you, and they approached your brother with a head coach in place. Wow, it's kind of interesting. Do you feel bad that they had to fire a coach in order to talk to you? And then he has to handle that stupid question. And somebody's going to ask it because now you just went through it. The only thing is that last time you didn't get to fire Sperano before you talked to Jim. You had Sperano still working, and you went to go after Jim. That's, So I I need to see it to believe it. I have no reason to think why Harbaugh would take this job. It would be insane on his part. The Giants' job gets him so much closer to a title. Oh, and by the way, New England is all of a sudden brewing here as a monster. And he's got also Buffalo. I don't really think he has two teams like that in the NFC East. He's only got Philly, and they don't really have a great quarterback. So, it is what it is. Let's see. Jay says you're absolutely right on the O-line, Big O, but 32 teams are trying to have a dominant O-line, and the Finns' ability to accomplish that are even less likely. Yeah, right now it is. Yeah, it is. Brian Daboll, we'll see. He should be a hot offensive coordinator somewhere. So, Miami is a very dysfunctional team. I'm sure John wants to avoid that place. Probably. Yeah. Yeah. And Becerra says, Big O, I'm sorry. I usually agree with you, but all signs are pointing to Harbaugh. Why? Why? They have no quarterback and they have cap problems. Because you say it? Yeah. Because what? You listen to somebody on QAM because they're kind of lazy over there, and they play that game. They play the shtick game over there, where they want to kind of feed you bullshit and drag you along and gaslight you like some of the writers are doing. Yeah, bro. Yeah, you're not listening to those people. You're just, your hope is listening to those people, but your brain is not tuned in. You're listening with your heart, unfortunately. There's no reason Harbaugh should choose Miami. None whatsoever. The Giants are a much better job for him than Miami. Much better job. So, Harbaugh will probably choose Tennessee where they have a QB. That's another one. But I think they'll go Giants. I think he'll go Giants. Yeah, the whole history and everything and the market and all that. I think he'll go Giants. So, Jim says, not sure of the GMs on potential teams other than the Finns, but if they do not get Harbaugh, there may be additional interest in GM candidates. Yeah, if you don't get Harbaugh, I don't mind the Green Bay guy at that point, and then let him find his coach and all that kind of stuff, So I don't mind that. I told you what I would do, but they're not thinking that right now, unfortunately. Ace Man, thank you for the love in the super chat. He says, didn't Miami do the same thing to get Fisher, and what happened? I don't think they had somebody in place for Fisher. Not exactly sure. Maybe you're right. I forgot now how that whole thing went. I need to be reminded of what the hell it was. I forgot now. I'm not sure how that whole thing went, but I don't think it was like the Harbaugh situation. I don't think. Of course, I easily could be very wrong. Okay. Another complete teardown from top to bottom on the way. Looking for 10 wins by the Finns by the time I'm 60. Well, I'll be 60 this year, bro. It's scary because I just don't even know if I'm ever going to see a championship, dude. I really don't know if I'm ever going to see a championship. Again, I mean, I saw the first two when I was a kid. But, yeah, God. Big O, other than Harbaugh, who's a few guys you would like to bring in as a head coach? Joe Brady would be the guy that I would love to bring in. That would be my top target, Joe Brady. Because Marcus Freeman is going back to Notre Dame. I would give him the keys to the kingdom. I like Marcus Freeman a lot. I think he has that vibe of being able to handle everything. Very CEO-like type of vibe, and I like that for my head coach. You've got to be able to do everything. It's kind of like when these guys said, oh, we're looking for a GM, we're looking for a scout. When Pelissero says that, they're looking for a scout. That's because they think that the rest of their organization's in place, which is crazy. And a GM is a lot more than a scout. Just like a head coach is a lot more than a coach. He has to be able to run everything, handle the media. He has to be able to handle different kinds of players. He has to be able to handle the front office. He has to be able to handle anything and everything that goes on. And it takes a special person. So Joe Brady would be the guy that I would love to go after. Love to go after. I don't know if he's ready to be a head coach. I know he's a great offensive coordinator. I know he knows quarterbacks. So I've got half the battle there. Okay. And I talked a little bit about how, listen to the rant that I put on how I would handle this transition. I would handle it a little different because of these next 2 years. But that's whole other kit and caboodle. But if you want a name out there, Joe Brady would be one of the guys that I would go after. I would try that. Because there really isn't like an established guy that I'm in love with, like Harbaugh, that I would, okay, I'm good with Harbaugh. Let's try it. I'm good. Just it's kind of like the Jimmy, the Saban, the Parcells thing. Those were all good moves. They didn't work out, but those were really good tries at it, good swings at it. You know, those were the last few good swings at trying to turn this franchise around, because you went and got yourself a czar because you're an incompetent organization. And Wayne Huizenga at least was smart enough to understand that. These guys are not that smart. That's why they were about to play human Jenga with Mike McDaniel and Josh Williams. And then John Harbaugh became available. Let's see. Yes, sir.
No, I wanted to talk about the Fisher thing just to refresh your memory.
What happened? How was that?
So reportedly, he went to the Rams because it offered him more control over football operations, a promising young quarterback in Sam Bradford, a better draft positioning, signaling the Dolphins' organizational shortcomings at the time because they had Jeff Ireland.
So that's his point, that the comparisons for Harbaugh are like Fisher, that it's a better situation. That's what he meant.
I believe that's where he was aiming for, yeah.
That's a very good call on your part, dude. Nice memory on your part on the whole Fisher thing. Good job by you, dude. Who was that? Who was that? Like,
you know, what's funny in this? Oh, it says the aftermath, right?
Jim Gleason. Jim, that's a fucking great point, dude. Great comparison, bro. Love that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
In this, it says the aftermath. It says the Dolphins ended up hiring Joe Philbin as their head coach shortly after, shifting their focus to find a franchise quarterback.
Right. So we're back to this. Yeah. Same shit's going to happen. We're not going to get Harbaugh because he's going to go to a better situation because it only makes sense. You're 63 years old, dude. You're 63. How much time do you have left that you want to coach? You're not going to coach into your 80s. So you want to go somewhere where you can kind of turn it around quick. The Dolphins aren't a quick turnaround. You've got cap issues for 2 years, and your team doesn't have a quarterback, and it doesn't have a whole bunch of other things. The Giants are loaded on defense, and they've got a quarterback, and they've got a number one wide receiver, too, in Neighbors. Harbaugh would be a moron to turn down the Giants over the Dolphins. Mike McDaniel has released a statement. Are you ready? Coaching this team and being a part of this great franchise, has been an honor of mine of a lifetime. When I took this job, I had a vision of a team that was bonded together and played with passion and energy on the path to winning a championship, I gave everything, and I had for that goal. I'm disappointed, and especially for the fans, that we did not have better results on the field. But I am grateful for every coach, player, and staff member who poured themselves into the vision alongside with me. I'm grateful to Stephen Ross for the opportunity he gave me, a little known coach at the time when he hired me. And of course, most of all, I'm thankful to my wife, Katie, and my daughter, Ayala, for their unending love and support. You know, I love this game and the people and the relationships and they're a part of it. And I will forever cherish my time in Miami. So there you go. Mike McDaniel releases a statement. How do you feel about that, huh? Mike McDaniel releases a statement. The dysfunction goes on. Let's do it. Let's see. And close for Nike and douchebag gold frame glasses and takes a timeout. And I said didn't work out and McDaniel's favorite day will no longer be Sunday. Nice one, Pat. Mike can now move on to his future job as an incense shop owner and part-time Steakums spokesman. Steakums. It's great. John Gruden is getting a coaching job again in high school, college, Canadian football, XFL, or NFL. He's definitely not getting one in the NFL. That I don't think so at all. But maybe somebody in college is crazy enough to give him a job. Let's see who else. Let's see. Oh, the Broncos have a similar situation, similar like the Dolphins. Oh, God, please. Okay, dude. Yeah. Again, this is not about luck or divine intervention. It's really about skill and putting together a real organization, dude. You know? It's kind of what it's really all about, folks. Don't look at it any other way. We're going to be back tonight, okay, for the Canes game. We're going to have our post-game show. Manny Navarro will be joining us, so come back to the platform for that one. Let me do a little music, by the way. I always love doing a little music. All right, let's start off with musicians celebrating birthdays today. By the way, Beyonce became a billionaire a couple days ago. That's crazy stuff. All right, on January 8th, who was born on January 8th? Jeff Abercrombie, bassist with the band Fuel. My best friend, Bill Preston, used to love the band Fuel. Born in 69. R. Kelly, the man who pees on women, born in 69 on this date. R. Kelly, 69. Okay, here we go. Andrew Patrick Wood, lead singer for grunge bands Malfunction and Mother Love Bone. I know Mother Love Bone, really good. Born in 66. Paul Hester, drummer for the Split Ends. They are doing a mini tour in Australia. I am so jealous. I swear, if I had cash, I would fly to Australia and go to one of those dates and go see Split Ends. Love it, dude. Love it. Anyways, born in 59, Paul Hester. Steve Garvey from the English punk band The Buzzcocks, the bassist, born in 58. Paul King from Mungo Jerry, that is, born in 48. And David Bowie was born on this date in 1947. Robbie Krieger, guitarist for The Doors, born in 46. Terry Sylvester from the Hollies, born in 45. Marcus Hudson from the Whispers, born in 43. This is a hell of a day, by the way. One hell of a day, dude. Let's see who else. Shirley Bassey. Wow. Damn. born in 37. And Elvis Presley, born in 35. Holy shit. What a list today. That is strong, bro. All right, let's go with famous people. Remember, if I don't give you an age, that means they have passed away. All right. Actor Larry Storch, born in 1923. TV commentator Charles Osgood, born in 1933. TV personality Bob Eubanks, born in 38. He's 88. Physician Stephen Hawking's, born in 42. Terry Brooks, writer, born in 44. He's 82. Who else? Actor Ron Cephas Jones, born in 57. Who else? Musician Sean Paul wasn't on that list, 73. He is 53 today. Actor Wendell Middlebrooks, born in 79. It's amazing that he passed away at an early age, dude. Let's see. He's the guy that made his name in the beer stuff, and then he got a job. He was I forgot what it was, but Middlebrooks got this job. He was with Dana Delaney. I forgot the name of the show, but he was what's that person that does all the autopsies and all that kind of stuff. He played that role, and he was a smart ass in it. He did a good job actually in that role, but he lost his life early. What a shame. Genevieve Paladecki, born in 81. The actor is 45 today. Let's see who else. That is it. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers? Oh, no, I don't think there's a mic on for you, sir.
That's because I did not put myself on the screen, but I was talking about the birthdays.
There you go.
Bad Luck Fail is 44. Bull Nakano was 58. Bushwhacker Luke turns 79. And Chris Masters turns 43 on January 8th, 2026.
All right.
Oh, and real quick.
Yes.
Alex Dono had a pretty good little tweet earlier saying, I'm paraphrasing here. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he was like, leave it to the Dolphins to take the day that was meant for the Hurricanes. Selfish.
Oh, I mean, the NFL is the NFL, bro. I mean,
I know.
And I don't think anything takes away from the Canes. I disagree on that. Yeah, this doesn't take anything away from the Canes, dude. This is all about the Canes for me. I can't wait for the effing game, dude. You know what I mean? This whole Dolphin stuff is just a joke. It's a bigger joke now, actually, for me, because you now realize, we can't go after Harbaugh if we have the coach in place. Duh. So yeah, I get it. He's a hardcore Canes guy, but dude, the Dolphins are so far away from being anything that matters. You better appreciate the hell out of the Canes because they matter. Okay, Dolphin football hasn't mattered in decades, and it's not going to matter anytime soon. The Huts is in the house. Thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Says Big O, is this the year of the hunt for a head coach? I don't recall a year so much teams are in need of head coaches. Listen, we do this every 4 or 5 years, bro. We're hunting for a head coach. And the worst part about it is we're not going to get the best of the lot because of the position that we're in. So it is what it is. Let's just hope they find an under-the-radar guy that can grow in a very difficult situation. Weapon X United. Haven't seen you in a while. Thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says, long time no chat, Big O. What a great day in Miami sports today. I host a Canes watch party here in Atlanta. We need to win tonight so I can come see you all in Miami for the chip. Go Canes. Say bye to McDummy for me. You got it, baby. And you'll be down here in Miami soon. So looking forward to it. We're going to win tonight. I feel good. All right, let me go to music history. We haven't done music history. In 1966, on this date, the Beatles started a six-week run at number one on the U.S. album charts with Rubber Soul, the group's seventh chart topper, which went on to spend 56 weeks on the charts. In 1975, 3 Led Zeppelin concerts at Madison Square Garden sold out in a record 4 hours. And when you think about tickets and how it's being sold in those days, that's fast, dude. That's fast. In 1980, the Babies released their 4th studio album, Union Jacks, and it features my favorite song, Back on My Feet Again. Let's see what else. In 1980, the Buggles released their debut album, The Age of Plastic, in the UK. It features Video Killed the Radio Star, which would become the first song that Music MTV channel ever aired. In 2008, the woman with face in her hair, Sia, released her 4th studio album. Some people have real problems, like having hair in your face, or like going through an ugly-ass divorce right now. Now that I think about it, in 2008, some people have real problems. Yeah, Sia, you got some real problems right now because you and your husband are having, or ex or whatever, you are having one of those ugly-ass divorces. Anyways, it features the singles Day Too Soon, The Girl You Lost to Cocaine, Soon Will Be Found, Buttons, and Academia. In 2016, David Bowie released his 25th and final studio album, Black Star. On his 69th birthday and 2 days before his death, it became his first and only album to reach number one on the Billboard 200 album charts in the U.S., which is ridiculous. Let me see if there's any birthdays that weren't on that list. Oh, Mike Reno from Loverboy was not on that list. He is 71 today. Great voice, man. And that is it. Yeah, that's the only one that wasn't on there. And that is music history, sir and ladies out there. All right. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donations as always, and we appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget, Caneswear, proud sponsor of our program. And go visit Brett and Jeff and Jack and Ken Graff and all the amazing people out there. They'll take care of you. They know how to get it done. Tell them that Big O sent you and use our code BIGO10. You will get 10% off. Canes are going to get it done tonight. So get your gear. Get ready for the national championship game against either Indiana or Oregon. We'll find out tomorrow who takes on the Canes after the Canes get rid of Ole Miss tonight, because you know it's going to happen. We're going to be back tonight to talk about that in the post-game show. But visit our friends at Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com. Use our code BIGO10. You will get 10% off. And if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. There you go, baby. And we thank, of course, the great Sean Stanley. We thank everybody that tuned in. We appreciate all of you out there. If you hit the like button, thank you, thank you, thank you. Over 250 likes. I love that. Let's go. Let's get it to 300 if we can. Appreciate you all out there. And of course, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at any time, day or night. We appreciate it. And we always answer back. We shall see you tomorrow, or we shall see you tonight for the post-game show. And then tomorrow morning from Acura of Pembroke Pines. See you later. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Go you.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O old show.